Hello everyone, we will continue with the topic middle ear. So in this video I am going to explain you the contents of the middle ear in detail. First we are going through the ear ossicles. So what are ear ossicles? So within the middle ear we have a small chain of ear ossicle which consists of three bones. So this is the middle ear cavity. Here we can see three bones, malleus, incus and the stapes. So out of three bones, the malleus is the largest one, next is incus and the smallest one is the stapes. And there are joints in between these ear ossicles also. In between malleus and incus, there is a joint called as ingudo-malleal joint. And in between the stapes and the incus, there is a joint called as ingudo-stapedial joint. So let us learn in detail about each ear ossicles. First, we are going to learn in detail about the malleus. Malleus got that name because of its shape. This is resembling like a hammer. So because of hammer shaped bone, so this is called as malleus. What are the parts of the malleus? Malleus consists of a head, a neck, and there is a handle, a lengthy process called as handle. And there are two processes. One is lateral process, another one is anterior process. Anterior process is facing anteriorly and the lateral process towards lateral aspect. So these are the parts of the malleus: head, neck, handle, lateral process and anterior process. So if we go through the details of each parts of the malleus. First one, head. Exactly, if you consider the position of the head is projecting above the level of tympanic membrane. That means head is lying in the epitympanic recess. In this picture, this is the tympanic membrane. Head is located above the level of tympanic membrane, that is in the epitympanic recess. Next is neck. Neck is a constricted portion below the head, and the importance of the neck is related to a nerve called as cauda tympani nerve. So this is the diagram to show you how exactly the neck of the malleus is related to the cauda tympani nerve. So here you can see in this particular picture, this is the malleus, this is the incus. This small constricted portion is called as the neck of malleus. And this neck is related to a nerve which is called as cauda tympani nerve, that is coming from the facial nerve. Next we will explain about the handle. Handle of malleus is directed downwards, backwards and medially. So this is the handle. This is directed downwards, backwards and medially. And this handle is attached to the tympanic membrane. I will show you another. Again, in this particular diagram, it is very clear that this part is called as handle of malleus. This handle of malleus is attached to the tympanic membrane, especially to the upper part of the tympanic membrane. Next, we will explain about the lateral process and anterior process. So these are projections from the malleus, lateral process and anterior process. The lateral process projects from the upper end of the handle. So this is the handle. From the upper aspect of the handle, you can see a small process. This is called as lateral process. This will provide attachment to the malleolar folds. Malleolar folds in detail we will learn in the tympanic membrane. So these malleolar folds are attached to the lateral process. And again we have anterior process. This anterior process is providing attachment to a ligament called as anterior ligament, which will connect this anterior process to the petrotympanic fissure. So this is the anterior process. So these are the points to be remembered about the malleus. So next we will learn in detail about the incus. So the incus is the second bone. So in position wise, incus is in between the malleus and the stapes. So that's the middle bone. And the incus got that name because it is anvil shaped. And also in some textbook you will see the shape of the incus is resembling like the molar tooth. So the shape of incus and the shape of molar tooth is almost similar. And what are the parts of incus? Incus shows a body and a short limb and a long process. Okay, and a long limb. So body, short limb and long limb. These are the parts of incus. First let us explain in detail about the body of incus. So the body of incus is articular. That means that forms a joint. The body of incus is forming a joint with the head of the malleus. and that joint is called as ingudo-malleol joint. So the joint between the body of incus and the head of the malleus is called as ingudo-malleolar joint. Next is long process and short process. Long process, if you consider, the long process is directed downwards, and the long process of the incus and the handle of malleus, these two are parallel to each other. That means its direction is parallel to each other. Here is the handle of malleus, and here is the long process or long limb of the incus. These two are parallel to each other. And once more you go through that in detail about the lowest end of the incus. So here you can see a small nodular process. So this is called as lendiform process, or also called as lendiform nodule. So lendiform nodule is a rounded nodular process at the lower end of long limb or long process of the incus. This lendiform nodule forms a joint with head of the stapes, and that joint is called as ingudo-stapedial joint. So now we have explained two joints in relation with the incus. One is between the body of incus and the head of the malleus, that is ingudo-malleolar joint. Another one is in between the lendiform process or lendiform nodule of the long limb and the head of the stapes. That joint is called as ingudo-stapedial joint. Next we will explain about the stapes. The stapes is the smallest ear ossicle. Okay, and this stapes got that name because of its resemblance with the stirrup shape. And what are the parts of the stapes? Stapes got a small head rounded, which shows a concave depression. This is called as head. Very next to the head you have a constricted portion called as the neck, and again further the neck will be continuing as two or splitting as two crura. Okay, singular form is crus. Okay, so these crura are also called as limbs. One is in front, that is why that is called as anterior crus or anterior process or anterior limb. Another one is behind, that is called as posterior process or posterior crus. So anterior crus and posterior crus, if you consider, these two are different. Anterior crus is very short and the posterior crus is little bit lengthy. Next, both crura are joining with the base of the stapes. The base is a flattened oval shaped part which is also called as foot plate. So foot plate or the base, this is another part. Remember, this foot plate or the base is oval in shape and which will be sealing the oval window. Oval window already we have seen in the medial wall of the tympanic cavity. So this is the tympanic cavity. In the medial wall we have round window, oval window and all. So the oval window is sealed or closed by this foot plate or the base of the stapes. There is a speciality for the neck of the stapes. There is a muscle which is attached to the neck of the stapes. That muscle is called as stapedius. So there is a muscle called as stapedius that is attached to the neck of the stapes. And I would like to use this particular picture to explain you how exactly the neck of the stapes is receiving a muscle called as stapedius. This is the diagram to show you stapedius, which is attached to the neck of the stapes. So next we will go through what are the joints which are present within the middle ear cavity. So already we have mentioned as a part of the ear ossicles, there are two joints. One is in between the malleus and the incus. Another one is in between the incus and the stapes. So first is ingudo-malleolar joint. These both joints in between ingudo-malleolar and the ingudo-stapedial joint, these joints are synovial joints. And the ligaments of these joints are very elastic in nature to allow the free movements of the ear ossicles in order to transmit the vibrations from the middle ear towards the internal ear. And first thing is ingudo-malleolar joints. So that is between the head of the malleus and also between the body of incus. So this is a saddle joint because the body of Ingus shows a concave depression. Exactly proportionally to this concave depression, head of the malleus will be fitting. So this is a saddle joint, saddle variety of the synovial joint. Next is incudostapedial joint. This is a ball and socket variety of the synovial joint. This is in between the lentiform process of the long limb of the incus and the head of the stapes. So this is a synovial joint ball and socket variety. So these are the two joints which are located within the middle ear cavity. Thank you for watching this short video explaining the ear ossicles and the joints between them. In next video, we will go through the details of the muscles present in the middle ear cavity and also the blood vessels and nerves of the middle ear cavity with clinical correlations. Thank you for watching this video.